notice that when I say this intro, I don't say it in my normal voice. I go, hi, everybody. Welcome. So I'm trying to like.
Welcome to the Audacity.
Oh, we're using that.
Yeah, we are. You know.
I don't think we need to redo it. I feel like this is endearing.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody.
This is what you're getting.
Yeah, welcome back to the mess.
So, how's everyone been? Heather, what have you been up to?
Just kid stuff, per usual, but a lot. There's been a lot. Liv actually had surgery, so that was, yeah. It's actually been oral surgery. She needed to get 2 teeth pulled. They're baby teeth. While they were doing that, they went in and like did a filling, and she's gonna lose a tooth, and like she's getting her molars in eventually. So they like wanted to actually put a crown on one. It was just so much. I'm like, this seems so unnecessary for a 7-year-old whose teeth aren't actually rotting. Like, I can understand, you know, if there was a really big issue, but we figured it out, and yeah, it was all as well.
I will say, as a girl who's had many teeth pulled, like for some reason, my baby teeth did not want to fall out. So I literally had to have like almost 10 of my baby teeth pulled because they would not fall out. Heather, do you remember in junior high where like my canine teeth, they had those chains that they had to like pull down?
Yeah, I do.
I had fucked up teeth. Like literally they were mangled.
Well, and part of Liv's thing is that on the left side of her mouth, on the bottom left side, her baby teeth came in with no enamel, but like only on the bottom left side. And so that's where they pulled teeth.
Oh, that's scary.
I've never even heard of that. Are they like really sensitive or like?
She's never complained. She didn't even know she had a cavity in one of them. So anyways, it was just, it was like a whole thing. And her adult teeth that have come in she's had one that's on the left side. It does have enamel. So they're hopeful that the rest of them will come in. But if not, then she's going to have, you know, a uphill battle with crowns and Lord knows what else, because without the enamel, I mean, your teeth are just kind of.
Yeah. I've never even heard of that.
Yeah.
So, but she's doing well. Kids are doing well. Bear had baseball today. Most of the kids out here are on spring break. He's not. So he had to miss some school to be able to field the baseball team, but we're doing well.
You know?
Yeah. You?
He's good enough that I would pull him out of school too. I'd be like, get your ass on the field.
No, okay, he's 10. It's not like there's so much time. I feel like what I try and tell him is, listen, without school, there is no baseball. So got to stay out for a game, and I'm like, go turn your homework in.
Yeah. A little bit of a change of pace. Haley and I were in New York.
Stirring up some shit.
I have such FOMO. I have FOMO with all of your guys' trips.
Oh yeah,
That was the first one, actually.
No, I feel like you guys.
Oh, like in LA.
Yeah, and like LA, and you guys did Miami. Like you guys are.
No, I've never been to Miami.
I'm trying to convince both of you guys to pack a bag and go to Miami for my birthday.
I know,
I'm down.
I know. Okay,
Heather's like,
you know, I could do it. I could swing it. It's just about being prepared.
What I will say about going on like weekends with Rachel, like for 2 people who spend so much time together, we literally like do not fight. Like there's no, like we're just like, yeah, okay, let's go.
Oh, Rachel's so great to travel with, and she's like, this is where we need to go, and this is how we're gonna get there. And I feel like that is just her anyway. She's going to find a way. She's going to figure it out. But I also feel like she doubles down on that with me, because she knows that normally I'm the one who has to be like in my everyday life, like, this is how we're going to get through today. And so when I know I'm going somewhere with Rachel, I'm just like, tell me where to be. And when.
Yeah, I'm like, let me handle some things for you ladies. Like, let me show you.
No, but I feel like you could like blindfold the 2 of us and just put us in a random area, and we're like, okay, let's go there.
No.
Yeah, that's Rachel. But that's I feel like part of her charisma and her charm. Is that
my charms. Like, we definitely had like we went to New York with the goal of recording 8 martinis, right? I was like, okay, I had, as you guys were just mentioning, I had it all planned out. I was like, we're going here at this time, whatever. And then as the hours went by, it got less and less productive to the point where I'm looking back at these videos and I'm like, we don't have anything to post. Like, I'm like, I'm going to have to like, there's some that don't have an intro. There's some intros that we never made it to the actual bar that we were supposed to go to. And then there's like one good one at the Chelsea Hotel, but we both look like we got run over.
It was martini number 8.
Oh boy. It was like 2 p.m. on the next day and we're like, we got to get out of bed. We got to like go do things. Like we were time traveling. We got a little distracted by boys.
Yeah.
Shocker.
That happened.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. That is shocking because I feel like,
right?
That is actually not characteristic. That was
of me. It's not.
Yeah, it really isn't.
It's really not.
If anything,
Actually, I was. Oh my God, you guys!
What?
Remember when I rode the chair down the stairs?
Tell her how this works.
I reference this all the time whenever I'm like, my feet hurt. I don't want to walk downstairs. You know, like my church had this.
It's for if you're disabled. So it's
yeah. So obviously, I was handicapped at that moment because I could not walk down the stairs. And I saw that chair, and I was like, fucking put me on that thing.
By the way, we are at a restaurant, okay? She's wearing a $2,000 dress. We're at a bougie restaurant on the Upper East Side. And we go up to the bathroom. Okay, and also we get recommended to this restaurant because one of Haley's friends is friends with the chef there, right? So
okay. I remember. Yes, I received many text messages at this. When you guys were
the Congo line.
There was a Congo line. Okay, so we weren't the most unhinged in the entire restaurant because they have a nightly Congo line, and people keep going back to this restaurant to do the Congo
tried
line.
to get me to join.
I mean, sign me up.
Anyways, Haley went down the handicap thing. She found a man to push the button for the entire time, like while she went down the stairs.
First of all, can I just talk about that? Why can't you just push the button and you go? Like, why do you have to push the button? Like, what if you're by yourself?
Yeah, I'm guessing it's user error. Neither of us can figure it out. And she got into the chair strapped in. I was like, I want nothing to do with this. I walked down the stairs and I was like, camera ready. I'm like, you figure it out, bitch. And she went as far as she could. And like,
leave it to Rach.
As soon as she couldn't touch the button anymore, all of a sudden an older man comes around the corner and is like, damsel in distress, and like stands there and pushes the button for her as she's like, choo, like down the stairs.
He actually needed the
chair.
He's like, oh, go ahead, man.
Oh no, he was walking
first.
I did start a cult. We started a cult.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out it's very easy to get people to join a cult,
especially as. Oh my gosh, yeah. In today's age, absolutely.
We're just asking random people like, hey, want to join our cult? And they're like, no questions asked. Yes, right?
Well, I think looking at you too, and then also like these are tough times. People are like, yeah, fuck it. What else is there?
Let's join the cult.
Like no one asked the question. They just joined.
I think literally only one people were like.
Only one person said.
One person was like,
he goes, what do I have to do? And we're like, it's yes or no. Like,
you're either in or you're out.
Rachel goes, that's not how a cult works. It's yes or no. And he was like,
I don't even.
But like, what do I have to do? And we're like
no.
Then that, I mean,
show up.
That's yes. That's yes.
Wait, the best part is we text Heather. We're like, we started a cult, and she's like,
I'll do it.
Yeah, we're like, we started a cult. We're like, we have 15 members, and Heather's like, well, 16 because obviously I'm in. And I was like, perfect.
Yep.
I was already like. Well, Heather will join.
Yeah, literally, like while we were texting her, she was like, "Heather will join." I was like, "Okay, she will."
I mean, I signed up for this to tell all of my secrets and completely expose myself. So, cult, that's child's play.
Yeah. I did kind of lose respect for the art of cult making, actually. Because you know how we've talked about I'm attracted to people who could be like the leaders of a cult, and now seeing that it's so easy, I'm like, oh.
On today's episode, we speak about narcissism.
Yeah, actually. Well,
I'm like, wait a second. I didn't realize it's this easy. Like, am I still just – but yeah, I'm still exclusively attracted to men who have a vision and direct other people to achieve that vision. So anyways, we absolutely embarrassed ourselves.
First night, though, this idiot – first of all, we were out again. Like, we should have been jet lagged. Like, we're coming from California. We should have been so fucking tired.
No,
right?
The other direction, though. We gained hours.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
We did.
Anyways, so I tried to order Taco Bell to the hotel.
She did.
Didn't think to change the address. So I ordered it to Beverly Hills. Got back 4 days later. Guess what was still outside my door?
Hey, that's good. I'm surprised the rats or raccoons didn't get to it.
The burrito was in a rock.
That's so gross. Have you guys ever left your food in the sink just like untouched overnight and then the next day find it and you're like, oh, no wonder why my stomach always hurts?
100%.
Oh, because it's like
just like
the
like what it turns into sometimes. Yeah. Like, oh. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you guys.
Please.
What do you guys feel about Kristen Cavallari and her child's boyfriend?
I think it's new that she's posting the way that she is because she doesn't really do that. So I feel like we're proving something to someone. I'll just leave that.
That's an interesting point. She's using this guy to make a point.
Yeah, I feel like we're proving something to someone because I feel like even on her own podcast, she doesn't talk about like names. She doesn't do that. So like I'm a little confused by that move. Like I feel like she's never really been that person to like do that. So I feel like something clearly happened that she felt a need to like post that. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say about it. I'm all for it. Like I really don't care about age gaps like that, but.
Well, what is it, like 12 years?
Right. Years? Well, okay, here's the thing. He's right out of college. And I feel like
he's like 24, right?
Here's my thing. Like, and I'm just talking from how I feel. If you have kids and you've been married, like you've had this whole life, and now all of a sudden you're going back to a 24-year-old boy, because I'm not going to even call that
that's not a man. That's not
like,
a man.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you do you, but like I'm just confused.
Okay. My turn. So, wait, are you done?
Yeah. No, Heather's chomping at the bit to hit this one.
I'm just confused. Like,
yeah.
So I think part of the reason why she hasn't ever come out with anyone that she was dating or entertaining is because her divorce literally just finalized after 2.5 years, like last week. So it's just not a good look. I mean, even if she wasn't a public figure, so to speak, or didn't have anyone who was interested in her life and her relationships, it could present a problem. So you add that layer to it. I think that's probably why she really didn't introduce the world to anyone that she was dating or hanging out with.
But she's never done that. That's why I think it's weird.
She's been married for a long time.
But even before him, like she was never like
She's
public,
private about it, right? I mean, I don't follow her enough, but like,
yeah, me either.
I do, and that's why I think it's weird.
I think part of it is to your point, then Haley, because I don't really follow her, and I mean, I haven't like kept up with her since really ever, but exactly.
I love her, but like
no, so do I.
That's why I think it's weird. That's why I know that it's weird.
Well, she has kids now, right? So like before she was married, she didn't, and again, I know that her divorce was just finally finalized, like officially, like in the books, and I think that we as a society, my opinion, no one bats an eye when a 37-year-old or a 38 or a 39-year-old guy dates a 24-year-old woman, and all of a sudden it's just like complete uproar and we're calling him a child and we're saying all these things when like I was planning a wedding at 24. And for me, because this is for me, like I understand that it might be jarring to some people, but for me, I'm like, why is it news that she's dating a 24-year-old instead of the headline being Kristen Cavallari like hard launches her relationship? The narrative is Kristen Cavallari is too old and she's dating a 24-year-old.
I don't think that that's it. Though,
well, it is because we just got done saying that it is. She's dating. You did. You just said that he's a child and that he's just out of college.
I think that men also progress a lot slower than women. I feel like
totally. I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you.
Compared to guys at 24 are completely different.
Well,
maybe,
okay.
But that's not that. I'm just talking about sheer narrative.
Yeah.
Right. Like
to my point, like I think it's because she doesn't ever post stuff like that. I think that's the bigger story that no one's talking about is like, why is she posting like that? The only stories that ever were out were from like tabloids. It was never her doing it. So I think
that's probably exactly why she's like, I want to take back my narrative. I want to take back control of my story. I want to be in control of how people perceive my relationship and perceive me now.
Yeah.
Instead of allowing the tabloids or the paparazzi to be like, ooh, exclusive footage of Kristen Cavallari, a mom of 3 with her boyfriend, where she should be home. Fuck that.
Well, and like, I'm not saying she's wrong by any means.
Of course not.
That's not what I'm saying.
I don't think you are either. But I think her incentive, again, my opinion, maybe she's switching it up because she's like.
What I will say, though, is that I do think she took back her control of the narrative by starting that podcast, because she's able to like tell her story. And so maybe that was kind of like the underlying like force of being able to be like, yeah, this is my story. So maybe that is it. But for me personally, because I've loved her for years, like I've always been like a huge fan of her. And like I've always like honestly really related with her. Like I listen to her podcast. I respect what she says, but listening to what she says and the way that she protects names is why I thought it seemed a little out of left field.
I think he also is, he's like TikTok famous or whatever. And to me, that was the most interesting part. He is definitely on the verge, like a tipping point of getting more notoriety and kind of making a name for himself. Obviously, he's easy on the eyes. Like, girl, go off. Like I say.
No, he's so hot. Good on you.
Okay, girl, I see you. To me, that was the most interesting part. But again, like, who am I? Like, to say like, oh, he's just doing this for that, because Lord knows women do it every day, all the time.
No, of course. Yeah.
Who's the same? Men are the same way. And most of them are just chomping at the bit to be able to do it.
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
So I, over the past 5 years, have pretty much only been with guys that are younger than me.
Really?
But like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Huh. Even a guy that was like 4 or 5 years younger than me felt young.
Mm-hmm.
Like there were things that he would say and I'd be like, I don't know the reference, and like vice versa. Like there, within 5 years between girl and guy, there is an age gap. Yeah. I'm just gonna say there is an age gap. And so my question is, okay, Kristen Cavallari, Godspeed. Like I know when you get out of a divorce, things go 0 to unhinged very quickly. And it just so happens that she has a major internet following. So a lot of people are going to follow along for that moment, whatever. Is this her forever man? I doubt it. But like, is this fun for right now? Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Have fun. Do what you need to do on the internet. Prove people wrong, whatever it is. My question is, if today you're single, would you feel like you have enough in common with a 24-year-old to be attracted to them physically and emotionally?
No, absolutely not.
I don't think so either. And that's like my question. I'm like, when was the last time you guys met a 24-year-old? Because it's whoa.
I feel weird. Like, okay.
I would feel like a predator.
I will say this. I do think it depends,
honestly,
where in the US you meet that person. In LA, absolutely not. But I think maybe if you met that person somewhere else and didn't know their age right away, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. If they presented older. Yeah.
So my brother now, he lives in Scottsdale, and every once in a while, if I happen to be like up in the area, I'll meet him out. Like, yeah, like let's grab it. Okay, like what are you doing? Who are you with your friends? So I actually feel like I have kind of been around 23, 24, 25-year-olds. Yes. Not because of their like in my social circle or setting or doing the same things that I'm doing, but through my brother.
Yeah.
And I think that until you know that that's their age, you're kind of just like, okay, well, they're old enough to be here. And like, who's to really say? And most people when I'm out don't think that I'm 36, and they sure as hell never, they're like shocked. Yeah. Like first thing I do, especially after a few drinks, I'm like, look at my kids, like, and they're just like, what? Like their head, like more times than not, their head explodes. They're just like, there's no freaking way you have a 10-year-old. So I think that, you're not always going to know if you're in the presence of a 20 something, 23, 24, 25-year-old when we're talking about maturity, physically, emotionally, intellectually, can you connect and want to be with someone, to reference this Kristen situation? For me, probably not, emotionally and intellectually, but physically, I don't know. I think that,
physically,
but that was, but you referenced it earlier.
No, I did ask that. I did ask physically, emotionally. Like sometimes to me, I'm like, that still looks like a little boy.
Yeah. And again,
it depends.
It still looks like a teenager to me where I'm like, I don't know.
It depends. Depends.
Yeah. But
case by case, but
I do think that emotionally and maybe not always intellectually, but like definitely emotionally and just like the maturity wise, it would probably be pretty hard for me. But again, like we're just kind of making blanket statements, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I have another question for you guys.
Yeah.
We're all currently 36 for like approximately like
2 weeks.
12 more days.
Mm-hmm.
We got 12 days until Heather turns 37. Then I'm right behind her, and then Haley is 6 months after that. So, ladies, do you feel 36?
No. Not at all. Like, I still feel like mid-20s, and that's actually what people usually guess my age. I get mid-20s all the time.
I don't know. Heather, do you feel 36?
I don't feel 36. In the morning, I feel 36 when I wake up. 3 fucking kids if I've had too much wine. Yeah, but I don't feel 36. I feel 31, like 32.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel there are times where I feel way younger, like a certain setting. If I've had a great night's sleep and I'm like, you know, I don't know, doing something that I really enjoy, I definitely feel younger. And then there are days where I'm just like, wow, okay, like, 40, like this is a new perspective because
not for me.
I try though in those moments of like, oh man, or like if the Botox is wearing off or whatever the case may be. The other day I had a real humbling experience with my son. I was in the kitchen and he's doing homework at the kitchen island and I'm pretty gray. I've been gray. Like I've talked about this for a while. Like I started turning gray when I got married at 25. And so no. So sometimes I just let my hair go for a few weeks, sometimes like a few months. I'm just kind of like, meh, whatever. Like I don't really care that much. Yeah. I haven't had my hair done in a while. And so my hair was up and like you could see like my salt and pepper, if you will, on the side. And Barrett looks at me and he's like, Mom, he's like, your hair. I was like, yeah, like preoccupied. I'm like, yeah, what's up, buddy? And he's just like, it looks old. And I was like, my hair. I was like, and I like looked at him.
Oh no.
Yeah. And I was like, wait, my hair looks old? Like, you mean it looks like dirty or you mean because it's gray? And he's just like, yeah. He's like, it's gray. And I was like, yeah, like I'm gray, buddy. And he's just like, oh. He's like, but you're not old. Like,
no, but that is, oh my God, that's such a wake-up call for kids, though.
I wouldn't say that I'm on the younger side for kids' age, but I definitely, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's his school or what, but I do think that I look maybe younger than some of the other parents. And so I think for him, it was kind of just this like he'll go to some of his friends' house. My mom and dad aren't the same age as my friends' parents.
Yeah.
You know? And so I just think for him in that moment, he's like, but you're not like, for him to say it. He's like, you're not old though. Like, why is your hair gray?
It never occurred to me that I was ever going to be this age. Like, it never occurred to me when I was younger that this could happen. And now I wake up every day and I'm like, okay, I'm 36. Soon I'm going to be 37. Like, what does that even mean? It means nothing.
It's a great question. Like, what does that even mean, right? I think when Jay-Z came out and said like, what, 40 is the new 30 or 30 is the new 20. I don't even remember what it was because we were like, I wasn't thinking about it at the time. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
We were like 22. We're like, have fun being old assholes. Like,
okay, but I do think like there is something to be said about like how you act your age. I have a cousin who she's like the fun cousin. And I always just kind of looked up to her like her spirit. Like she was so just like fun and like she's like probably 20 years older than me. Like she is just like the life of the party, like just fun. Like, and so I don't think of her as old at all. It kind of like messes with your mind because you're like, fuck, they actually are aging, but like you don't feel like they're getting older.
Do you think that your mind telling your body that you're a certain age has any effect on it?
Absolutely.
Could, yeah.
I think so.
I have some scientific studies for you guys. So in the 90s, there's a woman named Ellen Langer, and she did an experiment where she took people who were elderly. So they were in the like 70s or I think I'm really bad at reading, as everyone on this podcast has heard. So I don't write down notes. I'm like, I try and memorize, and then I'm like, because I will not read. I'm going to save myself the embarrassment of reading. Okay. So
I love you.
And I see by the way everybody's laughing that you guys agree. All right.
No, I can't read either.
When I read out loud like worse than Heather's kids. Okay. So, and I'm middle-aged.
It's the.
Okay. Anyways, in the 90s, she did this scientific experiment where she took people who were elderly and who were probably in their like late 60s to 70s, and she took them. No, she designed the experiment. She didn't take them.
She took them where? Rachel?
No.
Where did she take them?
She didn't steal any old people. Okay. Let me clarify. She didn't take them anywhere. Maybe I should have read. Maybe there are some times where I should read.
All right, someone give Heather the article. Like, Jesus Christ.
I'll be the resident reader from here.
Email it over. Jesus.
No, okay, but Ellen Langer, let's try again.
That note.
All right, I see you, NYU.
Yeah, perfect. Excellent. Anyway, so there's this woman, Ellen Langer. She designed this experiment with elderly people where she physically put them into a different year. So she basically took them back to the 50s, where everything that they did during their day, their surroundings, everything was basically they lived like they were 45, right? And after so many weeks, she went back and looked at everything, and there was significant changes in their physiology that basically de-aged them, like set the clock back where they were starting to match the way that they were living, right? So instead of living like a 75-year-old, they went and they were living on their own. And she specifically says that there were no mirrors. So they couldn't physically look at themselves and look in the mirror and say, okay, that's me. I know how I've looked my entire life. I'm 76 today. Like they couldn't physically look at themselves to like look in the mirror and say, I'm old. So removing that element of looking at yourself and taking evaluation and just living your life as if you're younger actually have physiological changes on them where they started to become younger.
The things that changed were their outlook. She's like, I want you to take on this mindset that maybe you're 70, but now you're 45.
You're like, you're pretending to be a different age, right?
You're pretending to be a different age. The study is purely the effects of your mindset on your body, right? Like, can there be physical changes if you live your life like you aren't elderly?
Aged. Yeah. Well, okay. So the reason why I bring it up is because I think that the 30s are really interesting because this is the time where everyone's lives diverge, right? And so what it means to be 36 is truly unique to everyone. During our 20s, we all have these milestones that we hit that are pretty congruent with our peers, right? So like
based on age.
Yes, exactly. Like we go to college and then we move somewhere new, we get our first job, we start to live on our own, maybe for the first time, get our first apartment. And then really beyond that, everyone chooses something different. Like if you get married, if you have kids, everyone's paths become unique within your 30s. So I find that endlessly fascinating. I think that this study that I was just telling you guys about is really interesting because I look around at some of my friends and I'm like, I don't think that they're living like 36. And I think that might be one of the reasons why other people don't look at us and identify us as 36.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
Not that like something internally is happening. Like my liver is the best it's ever been. Like I still have a 25-year-old liver. But like I do think that we can like think ourselves young though.
100%.
I think it's how you feel, you know?
Yeah.
It's how you feel. You know, I think your environment.
How you think.
It is.
I don't even know if it's how you feel. It's how you think. Like if you think that you're young, then you
think you're too old to be doing something, or you're too young to be doing something, right? Like
that's true.
Personal restraints. You're so right. It's personal restraints.
It really is. Yeah. To your point, Rachel, I think you make a really great point that I've actually never even thought about. kind of like at 18, up until 18, you're all kind of doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Like your peers, you're all doing the same thing. And then maybe there's this drop off at 18, and then there's another drop off at around 22. And then I think there's a really big drop off at around like 20, between like 28 and 30.
Yeah, I was about to say like 28 is when people start moving into different categories.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's because you've had like a time where it's like, whether it's grad school or just like establishing yourself in a career,
right?
Or like, were you just like in limbo for most of your 20s, and now you're like, oh, I'm almost 30 now. What am I going to do? It's like this.
But I think like your 30s is where everything starts to manifest, right? So everything that you post 18, when you graduate high school, every decision that you've ever made, it all starts to manifest and cause results in your 30s, right? And so everyone's life starts to look different. Is anything better or worse? No. Yeah. Everyone makes their own choices. And I do think, though, that some people's choices do land them on the side of the scale where they present as older than they are. Mm-hmm. That's not a bad thing. Like, that's the beauty of the 30s.
Yeah. I mean, we both had like crazy life situations, me and Rachel. And like, I think I don't regret where I am now. Like, I'm happy where I am. And I think like everything was supposed to happen the way that it was. And I feel like if we didn't have the mindset we do like about age, like we could be really fucking depressed right now. I do think it really comes down to like how you view life.
I think it has so much to do with how you feel about the decisions that you've made, and how you feel about where you are at in your life.
Yeah.
Because there's some people who, some people are like, oh, you're 40 years old and you're getting a divorce. And it's just like, that's a total failure. And then you have other people who are like, oh, you're 40 years old and you've never been married. And like, they think that's a total failure. And I think so much of it has to do with what you want for yourself, and understanding that there really can be like a silver lining to wherever you are at in life, and you dictate how you want to live and the way that you feel about your life.
And what brings you happiness. And like that's circling back to what I said though, like no one's choices are good or bad. It's because you have full autonomy over your own life and your own choices, and whatever makes you happy as you is your own decision, right? And
no one's gonna live your life for you. No one can live your life for you, and you're not living anyone else's.
Correct. And that's what's cool about the 30s.
Every day we go through lives thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm in our situation, we're all 36, like, but I haven't done this, or but I'm too old to do this, or I shouldn't be doing this, or I need to be doing this. And it's like, says fucking who?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're completely right.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm happy. I'm happier at 36.
That's the goal.
I'm happier at 36, not having met anybody's expectations.
1,000%.
That's amazing.
I'm so happy where I am in my life right now.
Yeah.
It's great.
Okay. I want to take it back to the beauty standard stuff. Wasn't it so fun to be 28 and like the most beautiful you're ever going to be in your entire life, and just like look at yourself and you're like,
yeah, I look good tonight.
I look like that. I look like that. And then the next day it all starts going downhill. I don't even feel like you truly appreciate it when you're that young.
Ever.
You don't.
You don't ever appreciate it, because I'll look back at pictures when I was like 22, 23.
Last year. Like,
just like, at that age, and like the body dysmorphia, just being like, oh, I remember like thinking like, oh, I need like more abs, and like I need to be thin, like, whatever. And it was also part of like my job, but just like, I'm like, what in the world? Like, this is why do we do this to ourselves?
No. And
like, this is so crazy.
We are so lucky because we had the opportunity. We had the luxury of physically becoming the most beautiful we're ever going to be in our lives before the internet really started to tell all young women, you need preventative this and you need to do that. And your 100%. Face is supposed to be like this ambiguous face shape that could be any race, and you have to do nose filler and cheek filler and chin filler and Botox and lift your eyebrow, and like your face has to be like this perfect ratio. Like, we had the luxury of peaking to be at like our top level of beauty that we'll ever be without those pressures of the internet telling us that actually the most beautiful you're ever going to be is ugly.
But if you look at some of like the most beautiful movie stars, they have not done that shit to their faces. Like, I mean, they've obviously done work like here and there, but like, look at Angelina Jolie. Look at fucking Jessica Alba. Look at like Halle Berry. Like, look at the people who actually like, they still look like themselves.
No, they started as like the most naturally beautiful women in the world. Let's look at someone like Jennifer Lawrence, right? She does not have conventionally beautiful features. And I'm pretty sure she just did like a lower, like a mid-face neck facelift. And that's why everyone's like, why does she look like the way she does? Like, she's obviously had work, right?
Yeah.
But there are, like, of course, Cameron Diaz, who was once literally the most beautiful woman in the world, who decided, like, I'm just going to let myself age. Like, mass respect to her because...
Yeah. Gwyneth Paltrow.
Right, exactly. Like...
Hello, Pamela Anderson.
I think about that sometimes, that women who had, like, the most epic beauty, like, they were the beauty standard.
Yeah.
And then they say, you know what? I had that experience. Like, I'm good. I don't need to be chasing that for the rest of my life. Like, I'm open to experiencing everything that the future holds.
Yeah, but then Kylie Jenner has ruined that entire...
So to circle back to how we even got onto this, the younger girls, they do not know what it's like to reach your peak of beauty naturally without everyone telling you, oh, you need to fix this. Your lips need to be proportional. Like, you need to do all this. And, like, it's such a fucking shame because, I mean, I'm on TikTok and, like, I see the shit that they post and they're never happy. I see these girls struggling to meet beauty standards and I'm just like, whoa, like, I'm starting to feel like the older sister, like the auntie that's like, look, no, like, I wish that I could give you my mindset that I had when I was 24.
Yeah.
Where I'd never even thought I would hit 30. Like, it never occurred to me that I could be 30. And it could never occur to me that I was going to age. And you just thought that you were so, like, good enough, you know?
Oh, I thought I was the fucking
still with your insecurities,
the coolest cat in the fucking club,
right? And like no one online was there to tell you that you were ugly,
that you didn't have main character energy,
and
that you didn't, and that it wasn't, you know, that like, totally.
It's such a fucking shame that like these beautiful young girls who they already think that they're aging, and I'm just like, girl, you haven't even hit your peak beauty yet, and you already are like worried about your wrinkles and your aging, like. That's such a fucking shame to me. And I hate that we've built this wow.
What?
Like, yeah, I'm like, did I just have an aneurysm?
Okay.
I hate.
Did I just have an aneurysm?
Let me run that one back. I hate that we've built this society for these girls where they don't have the freedom to be who they are. Like, they don't have the freedom to just be medium ugly to beautiful.
No, I agree.
I'm just kidding.
Jesus.
I'm just kidding.
Haley was definitely not paying attention.
Brutal.
At all.
She goes, I agree.
Okay. So there is this trend on TikTok right now where women of kind of all age they're filming videos and they're asking TikTok, how old do you think I am? And there are some women who are our age, middle age or whatever, who are posting videos and they're getting absolutely annihilated with people saying that they look like they're 50 or 60. So today we will be talking to Elizabeth, who is a participant in this challenge. I think about 2 weeks ago, she posted a video of herself saying, okay, TikTok, here we are. How old do you think I am? And she happens to be 38, which she revealed later on. But a lot of people on TikTok were saying that she looks 50 or 60. So we're going to have a conversation with her today. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So as we've been discussing, you did the Guess My Age TikTok challenge. What were your expectations when you first posted that video?
I only had like 4,000 followers and my videos were only getting like 300 to maybe 800 views. So I didn't expect much. I just thought that most of the people responding would be the people that already follow me. And the video now has 1.2 million views.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's crazy. That's a lot of people.
Yeah. And there's like 14,000 comments.
Obviously, the people in the comments did not guess your correct age, which you revealed is 38, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when people were guessing your age, when it started to like pick up steam and you were starting to get more comments, what were your initial thoughts and feelings?
It got me down for like a day or two because a lot of the comments were pretty nasty. I got a lot of comments about, you know, when I said that I was 38, it was like, oh, must have been a rough life. And, you know, show us your ID. Where's your birth certificate? Are you using the age filter? Things like I'm not attractive and that I need to lose weight. I got a lot of comments like that from a lot of women.
Wow.
And yeah, majority of the comments are women.
Do you resonate well with the age 38 or do you feel younger or older? Like how old do you feel, I guess is what I'm getting at.
I feel like I mostly look my age, but as far as like the way I feel just in my body, I feel younger.
Me too.
Yeah. Me too. Same.
All of us are about to turn 37 and I'm like, internally, I feel like I'm 25 still.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Younger, honestly.
Sometimes, you know, maybe 16.
Yeah. I'm like 22.
When I grow up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Okay, so you posted the video and people were being less than kind, but I'm guessing there are some people who were kind. Like,
yes.
What were the kind comments like?
The kind ones were, you know, you don't look like you're in your 50s. You're beautiful. Like, don't change your appearance. When I did my transformation, I got a lot of comments that were like, you're beautiful now, but you were also beautiful then. And I've gained more followers and I got a lot of like private messages and people just were reaching out wanting to make sure that I was okay.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, just based on everything that they saw in the comments, you know, they were a little concerned and wanted to reassure me that, you know, I'm doing okay.
Yeah, I mean, I had a video go viral like at the end of last year about something embarrassing that happened to me. I got stood up on a date and it got, you know, almost 3 million views and people in the comments, like men in the comments were like, what's wrong with you? Like, you're not even attractive. No wonder he didn't show up. People would be like, oh, he walked in the door and saw you and walked out immediately. People can be absolutely brutal on the internet.
Yeah, I
for no reason.
I know that now.
Well, and I just think like when it really boils down to it, like no one's ever going to be everyone's cup of tea. Like no matter what, like there are 7 billion people in the world and you're never going to please all of them. Like no matter what you do, you could be the most perfect person and someone's going to have something to say.
You'll find, I mean, someone can be talking about something as mundane as like washing their car or, you know, they're cooking potatoes and they use olive oil and all of a sudden the comments just take a completely negative turn. Like, you should be using avocado oil. Why are you using oil? Why are you? And it's like, what is that pot you're using? And, you know, you should, and it's like, I'm cooking potatoes. Yeah. I'm washing my car. Yeah. Like why everyone feels so emboldened on their phones or behind their computer screen. And it's crazy. It's like how negative people can be about the silliest things.
Yes. But in Elizabeth's case, though, she did participate in a trend asking for critique here. You did open yourself up for critique here. So you're saying that you didn't have many followers, so you were not expecting it to get many views and you were not expecting it to pick up steam. Just from what I saw from the comments and the comments that you had replied to, it looked like the majority of people were saying that you looked 50.
In my 50s or 60s even.
60s, wow.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, in my opinion, you do not look 60. No. But I think that how we look and how we dress is obviously very like regional. Do you think in your community that you look older or that you identify with like an older age, or do you feel like you just fit in with all the other like 38-year-olds that you interact with?
So when I go out in public, I definitely get guessed that I'm younger, especially because my husband is 52 and people don't put the 2 and 2 together that he's my husband.
Yeah.
So I resonate more with people older than me as far as like communication wise, stuff like that. I don't really hang out with a lot of people, but when I do, it is usually, I guess, probably 50 plus. So maybe that's where I get some of my mannerisms or, the way I talk from.
As you mentioned, or as I've seen on your TikTok, all of these comments inspired you to start making changes to your appearance.
Yeah.
Can you like walk us through that? Like what your thought process was there? Or is this something that you'd thought about previously and this was the catalyst? Or was this something like you had never considered, you were fine with how you looked previously and now this has kind of changed your mind?
Well, I did hate my hair. I had not been able to get my hair done for about 6 months. Mm-hmm. So as soon as I got back home, I booked my hair appointment. So I already had the hair appointment scheduled, but I was originally planning on cutting it about this length, but also I was going to do highlights because that's generally what I kind of lean towards. But I did have so many comments that told me to go a little bit darker that I did change my mind. And I thought, you know what? I don't have highlights right now. So this would be a good time to just try it and see if I like it. Yeah. And I do like it.
I think the darker color suits you, actually.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you.
Yeah. So beyond hair, though, I know that you mentioned you wanted to try Botox or other like, injectables or cosmetic procedures. Is that something that you had previously thought about, or was this kind of putting all that on the map for you?
I have had Botox before, but it's been over a year. I am an esthetician, so I've worked with plastic surgeons. I've worked in medical spas and stuff like that. So while being in the industry, I definitely have wanted to get my lips done, but A, I've been afraid, and B, it's expensive.
Yeah.
So I just never pulled the trigger on it. However, because I got so many comments on, oh, it's your lips that age you, I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to do this and I'm going to go ahead and just do it now. So I booked an appointment and I'm getting my lips done on April 12th.
Oh, wow.
It's not that bad. I've done it.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I'm the only person in this conversation that has never done it before. I'm too scared. I don't know.
It's not that bad.
Well, I think my opinion is if it's what is going to make you feel better, then do that, or all the things, or absolutely nothing. But you got to remember that a lot of these people and a lot of the comments are just don't let it get to your head. I mean, any more than, maybe it might have already. You're beautiful. And like we were all saying, how we feel in our age is so much about the inside. And if you feel like you're 38, if you feel like you're 25, then carry that energy into your everyday, not what some random who is operating under a fake handle has to say about someone he doesn't know.
Yeah, dude, the anonymous assholes on the internet. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Seriously.
So terrible.
It is.
Oh, I had someone tell me to put a paper bag over my head.
I saw that one.
I did see that. I thought you handled that very well.
You did.
I would have done the same thing.
I put the paper bag on my head.
Yeah. I mean, like a boss.
Yeah.
So do you think that this experience has changed the way you view your age in any way? Or has this been purely like a physical thing for you?
It's definitely made me more aware that even though I feel young on the inside, I actually am aging on the outside. And I struggle with a lot of mental health things. So over the last, probably couple of years, I just have not been taking care of myself very well. And this has definitely, I had so many people suggest skincare, but it's like, I have all the good stuff. I just have not been using it But since that video went viral, I have been really trying to make it a point to get back into my skincare regimen. I want to go ahead, and I have a spa in my house. And so I want to go ahead and like start to work on myself more because I have everything. I've got all the tools and equipment. I just, let myself go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you've let yourself go. I mean, obviously I don't know you from the past, we just met, but I think that it's like people who work at a gym, right? And you talk to someone who works at a gym and is like, I come here every day and I haven't worked out in 3 weeks. When we have access, or when in your case, you work with people's skin, I mean, this is your profession. It can be easy to just make sure that you're taking care of your clients and not really focusing on yourself because you live it every day.
Yeah.
And I think finding like inner happiness also radiates like throughout like the outside. So I think, finding like yourself and like not necessarily focusing so much on the outside, it does show on the outside. Whenever you're actually happy on the inside, that really does make a huge difference.
And if doing those things make you happy, then great. And if not, then that's amazing too,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just drinking enough water.
I was going to say, like, internal happiness, maybe I'll get there. Like, right. I think everyone has their struggles. Mm-hmm. So, Elizabeth, do you have anything you want to say to the haters?
Yes. Go, girl, go.
Can I swear?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Go for it.
Okay, yeah. Fuck off. Get the fuck off of my page. Go somewhere else with your miserable selves.
Yes.
100%. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Standing ovation if I
Drop
wasn't.
The mic.
Honestly, I think that a lot of people on the internet, like a lot of the kids, they don't realize this is coming for you. Like your 30s.
Oh, yeah.
They sneak up on you. Like one day you're 27, you don't have a care in the world. And the next day you wake up and you're like, wait a second.
Like, where'd that decade go?
The years get away from you very quickly.
Aging is a blessing, I think. Just remember that it's so easy for someone to just take to their phone. And unfortunately, it seems like people want to make negative comments. And it's easier for them to make negative comments than it is for them to say something positive. So my hope for you is that you start to feel great about yourself and that you don't allow all of those comments to really affect you in real life on a day-to-day basis. If you want to do the Botox, do it. If you want to do the lips, do it. I don't know, go back to highlights or don't. Just make sure you're doing it because you want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
And we got you.
Yeah. We'll be like your number one cheerleaders. Like, oh, Elizabeth.
We got your back.
Like, at the end of the day, what people see on the outside, this superficial stuff is really, it doesn't mean anything. Like, it really doesn't. And like, I hope that those 1,000 TikTok followers that you got from this challenge or whatever, like those are people who genuinely have your best interest at heart and who are going to be there to support you and follow your journey, because people on the internet are assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And we got to protect ourselves from them sometimes.
Absolutely.
Well, Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thanks for having me.
All right, should we get into the top 8?
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
Number 1 is the book Do Nothing. A lot of you guys know that I've been trying to read 10 books this year. It's already mid-March, and I'm having trouble getting through just one. I'm not going to lie. I am going to put this book onto the top 8, although I don't think it's a good book. I do think that the subject matter that she talks about is important. The whole thing is about sort of workaholic culture in the modern age and how we have a hard time separating ourselves from work, and that currently we are trying to become more efficient workers, but really a lot of the stuff that we do to be efficient makes us inefficient. So I do think that nonfiction needs subheadings. I'm just going to throw that one out there. This book has a lot of longer chapters that has no organization, where she's listing a lot of different papers and studies, and one paragraph to the next will have contradictory studies back to back. And if she used subheading, she would have more space to write liberally about her analysis instead of just regurgitating facts of stuff that other people found. So this is turning more into a rant than a top 8 post.
This is kind of like a critique.
Well, you know what? Part of reading and writing is critique, right?
My mom, when I got that random book, my mom goes, well, Rachel's part of that book club.
Yeah. So
like literally knows because of the podcast.
Correct. Anyways, do read the book though. It is interesting if this is your sort of thing. Number 2.
All right. Well, I'll just be surface level real quick. Okay, mine. I actually couldn't figure out the charger for this, but I got it back up and running.
What?
Yes.
It's a red light mask.
That's great. I love that.
Dr. Dennis Gross.
Do you use it often?
Yeah, every night.
You should do a whole episode with it on.
3 minutes. You can't. It would burn your face off. Red is for like collagen.
Uh-huh.
This one's for, I think, like getting rid of like pimples and whatever. And then this is the hybrid.
Oh, okay.
So one's like for
bacteria.
bacteria.
Do you know that red light helps your hair grow?
In that case.
Yeah, I've seen on TikTok a lot of people putting it on the top of their head to help make the hair grow.
No, but I've read a lot of reviews on those different like masks, and this is by far has the best
one.
Yeah, you can feel it. It's Dr. Dennis Gross.
I love that.
Okay. Don't sleep on that one.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine? That would be awful. So along the same lines of, I guess, aging and preventative measures, mine is actually Glow Screen by Goop. It like kind of gives you that like same Hollywood flawless filter, but without the flashback. So if you like to be a dewy girl, but like not too dewy, and it's 40 SPF, and it just, I don't know. I love it. I'm in the sun. I feel like it's like we're now getting into March in Arizona, so it's kind of hard to escape the sun. So if you're going to put anything as a base, like it definitely has to have SPF.
I use that too. I love it.
Number 4, sfseconds.com is the website. Basically, this girl is doing these pop-ups where you can go and sell your clothes physically in person, and you get 100% of all the money. It's in San Francisco and in LA. If you have any clothes that you want to sell, you can go and do that. And
I want to.
Instead of selling it on Depop, you can sell it in person.
I'm down.
I love that.
sfseconds.com. I'll link it obviously in the show notes. But if you're in San Francisco or LA and you have clothes you want to sell, this seems like an excellent opportunity. So
I'm down.
Number 5.
I fell for an Instagram ad and I like actually really wanted to try it. It's called High Smile. It's like purple shampoo for your teeth. Like to whiten.
Okay, yeah.
Well, because I have really sensitive teeth and I can't do like the Crest like whitening strips or like that. It like really bothers my teeth. And I'm not going to lie, it kind of works.
You feeling bright and white?
That's great.
I definitely notice a difference. But with all of those products, one thing I will say, whatever they say, double it.
Okay, good to know.
All right. At number 6, I have, it's actually a brand that just showed at New York Fashion Week. I've heard it pronounced both ways. So Batsheva, but they just did their fashion show and used all women over the age of 40. So age inclusive, like along the same lines of just inclusion and not really tapping into, you know, the 16, 17-year-olds trying to make them look more mature to sell their products and be more relatable. They do dresses, they do a ton of different garments, but I just loved that all of their models who walked in New York a few weeks ago were all over the age of 40, and they're one of those few brands that continue to push inclusivity, and they actually have amazing quality. So
Batsheva.
Yeah.
Batsheva.
I don't know.
It'll be linked below. Number 7.
Haley, your mic's not working.
That was probably blessing.
Welcome back.
My last one is just a girls' trip because I feel like that weekend away, just like going to a different city with your friend and like just exploring like a new area and just kind of like letting loose and just like we just had such a good time and that was so like liberating. Like I remember like getting on the plane, I was so fucking depressed leaving. And I was like, that was the best trip ever.
Miami, May. Yeah. Everybody pack your bags. We're going. Yeah. Round 2, girls trip.
Make more time for your friends. That's my number 7.
So number 8, it's actually a highlighter, again, on the same theme of products, for me at least, products for mature skin, a mature audience. It is, it's called Nude Sticks Illuminati, like the Naughdty, Illuminati. And I just feel like it doesn't crease. It's a really great highlight and it shows up really beautiful in natural light and in photographs.
Do you guys have the Audacity of the week?
Fucking Haley Baldwin's sister throwing the used tampon at the bartender.
Oh yeah, that's
amazing. The audacity. Like, how do you even think of that? Like, she was using her brain because you know that guys are.
Was she
using something?
Think about what men are afraid of.
Oh yeah,
tampons are the number one. Like
mincies. Yeah, if I was a man and a woman throws her mincies in a tampon, it hits me in the face. I'm gonna be like,
you could pull out a bomb and a tampon, and they would. Tampon, like,
a grenade in a tampon.
Yeah. No, but like they're from the tampon. Like, no, what the fuck happened? I want to know.
That's like so gross.
That's
like,
bold.
It's beyond.
And I have so many questions. Like, were you in the bathroom and you took it out?
When I read it, I thought it sounded like she just ripped it out and threw it at him.
Like, was she wearing a skirt then? Like, I'm just
of course, like a skirt. Like she need answers right there, and she ripped it out. No, it was
what do you
threw it like a
say to somebody that you have to be like, you know what?
Last call.
That's fucking it. Like, you know what? That one took the cake. Like, I'm sorry.
That's wild, actually.
It's so gross.
To be a fly on the wall there. Like, if I was there, I'd be like,
if you saw that.
Did that girl just whip out her tampon? The way that I read the story, it didn't sound like she like had it in her bag, like a used tampon. Like, it sounded like she ripped it out and flung it at that man. Which is honestly like admirable.
That's even worse.
No. What are we advocating for? This is not admirable.
No. I'm not advocating for it. No, it's not. Okay, admirable was the wrong word, but it's kind of just like kind of admirable. Like I never. What was he doing to her that she thought she needed to rip out her tampon and throw it at him?
If you got to that point, like holy fucking motherfucking shit, like
something's wrong.
What did you do to her? I want to. We have so many questions.
That's a great one. I think there's so much to be
uncovered here.
Yeah. Okay, so I think a few things. What brought her to that point?
Clearly something bad enough.
Drugs, probably, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't feel
seem like she was
in my wildest dreams, I can't, and I've done some things.
But like, it had to be a family. It had to be a family thing.
Probably.
My opinion.
I'm sorry. You could say whatever you want about any one of my children. And my first response is not to be like.
You know what? You don't know. You might be unhinged in about 10 years.
No, I feel like I know. Like I've had some interesting encounters in the last month with people who I thought were very close to me. And so
Heather, fucking just throw your tampon.
Still never thought to be like.
You know what's crazy?
That's crazy. I'm sorry. That is crazy. Like I even think spitting on someone or in someone's direction is like so disgusting.
No, yeah.
This is a whole new level of. This is not like there's something going on there with her.
Yeah, that's some serious audacity.
That's crazy.
I'm not sure.
This is gross, to be honest.
I was in the line of fire of that. Like, what if you just got hit by accident?
There's like a clot on it.
Friendly fire. Shrapnel.
I'm sorry.
Shrapnel.
It's like goop.
Wait, like if you meant to hit the bartender and you just hit like an innocent bystander.
So much drink.
No, someone's drink. No. No.
What do you mean? My eyes twitching. My eyes twitching because I'm so stressed thinking about this right now. If that landed in my drink, and I was like,
grenadine?
What?
Is that grenadine?
No, ew. You guys, that's fucking foul.
Oh my God. You're welcome. That is the audacity of the week.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
To me, there's nothing that merits that.
No, that's biological warfare. I'm sorry.
It's probably, aren't they saying they're going to get her for assault, right? They're like trying.
100%.
Yeah,
She
no,
already got arrested.
bad.
Didn't she go to jail? She has a mugshot.
Yeah, that's not acceptable. I'm sorry.
Might have started a movement though. I'm not saying in a good way, but I'm saying that I could see some unhinged Florida people.
You know what? You're actually not wrong. As someone who is a Floridian myself, there's
You just wait.
That's so gnarly.
Can't wait to go back to Florida with you guys.
She opened up the fucking door, and now we're all gonna have to
deal with that.
Watch her fucking drink.
Has to be a worry on the back of our minds.
Oof, watch the skirts. Watch the fucking skirts.
Well, anyways, on that note, thanks for joining us this week as we
unhinged
discuss age and tampons and everything in between. We really hope you come back next week. We really
promise it'll be better.
We get better every week, sort of. You know,
one step forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah, but it's a progression. So
we have some juicy stuff coming. So
yeah, we do.
Stay tuned.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Love you. Goodbye. Bye.